In this video, I'll be going over a complete beginner's guide on how to get started with Cursor AI, even if you've never written a line of code before in your life. So we'll be going over all the basics such as creating the initial folders, installing dependencies, and we'll also do a deep dive into Cursor's Composer feature, which is their AI bread and butter, so that you can get started building apps with AI. Cursor is a local development environment, which is just a fancy way of saying that it's a place on your computer where you can write and deploy code. However, what makes Cursor so special is its AI capabilities that allow you to generate code and edit code directly using AI. And because it's local, all of your code files and packages will be saved right on your computer, unlike other cloud-based platforms such as Replit. Now, before we start creating the project, we just need to make sure that we have Node.js installed, which you can see here. This will help you run commands and install packages for your project. Now that we have that out of the way, let's start by creating our project. Since Cursor is a local IDE, we need to start by creating a folder on our computer where our project will live in. So for Mac users, you would want to just open up Finder here, and then you want to go to a folder where you want your project to live. So for us, we're inside the Documents folder, and then now we can begin creating the project folder. We'll just right click, new folder, and then we'll just call this Test Project. And for Windows, you would do the same thing, but just within File Explorer. Next, let's go ahead and choose our language as well as framework. So for our purposes here, we'll be mainly writing in JavaScript. And if we're building a web application, I would recommend Next.js as a very nice modern React framework that can handle both front-end as well as back-end development. And if you're interested in mobile apps, then I would recommend something like React Native. So to start, we'll focus on creating a web app with Next.js. So what we first want to do is open up our computer's terminal, which I have right here. Now this is where we will run commands and install things for our project. So right now we can see that the terminal currently isn't directed anywhere. But what we want to do is navigate to our project folder that we just created so that any commands we run will be run within that folder. So to navigate to that project folder, we can just simply type in cd. And then because we created that project folder inside our documents folder, we first want to go to our documents folder, and then we type in the project name, which I titled test project. And then now we can see that the terminal is being navigated to the test project so that any commands we run will now affect this folder titled test project. And now what we want to do is turn this folder into a Next.js project. And we can do this by simply running a command, which will install all the necessary dependencies for us. So this will be npx create next app, want the latest, and let's now wait for this command to run. And this command will now install all of the necessary dependencies to create a Next.js project. And you'll now see that we have some options pop up for our project. And we'll be choosing the default options, but here's a quick rundown on what everything means. So TypeScript is essentially just JavaScript, but with a built-in spell checker for your code. We'll do yes. This you can think of as a grammar checker for your code. This you can think of as a toolkit that makes styling your app a lot easier. This creates a separate folder to keep your code a bit more organized. This is Next.js's new way of organizing your app's pages. So an important thing to note here is to remember what you've chosen, especially if you do choose App Router, because if you want Cursor to generate files for you, they need this additional context that you're using App Router inside your project. So we'll select yes here. And then for import alias, these are just essentially shortcuts that you can add for your code, but we'll select no. And then now you can see that it's begun to initialize our project with the Next.js templates. So let's wait for all of these dependencies to now install. Great, so our project is now set up. As we can see, it's gone ahead and set up everything inside our test project folder. And now we can begin heading into Cursor. So now heading over into Cursor, let's go ahead and open up our project folder. So from here, we can select open a folder. And then what we want to do is head over into our documents, and then we'll just select that test project folder in which we've been working on and click open. And then from here, we can see that Cursor has gone ahead and opened up our project folder, and we'll see all of the files here listed on the left-hand side. And this includes all the files and folders that were installed with our packages in the terminal. So whenever you want to add new features to your project, you would typically create files in this src folder. And then from here, you can either add in the code yourself or have Cursor Composer generate the code for you. Now, the real magic of using Cursor is its AI Composer. So to open up Cursor Composer, all you would do is select Command L on Mac or Control L if you're on Windows. And as you can see, it's gone ahead and opened up an LLM chat for you. And this AI tool can help you build the various parts of your application by generating complete sections of code for you or editing your existing code. So as we can see, this Cursor Composer is currently defaulted to the Cloud 3.5 Sonnet LLM model, but you can choose another model if you'd like. As you can see, they have GPT-4, Mini, O1 previews. You just have to be mindful of your usage credits, especially if you're on a free plan. But as of this video, especially for a longer duration coding, we would recommend Cloud as the most competent code builder LLM model. Now let's go over how to have Cursor Composer help create files for you. So for example, we can just simply type in create a landing page for me, or a modern landing page for my web app. Then we can say this is a Next.js project using TypeScript and App Router, which again are the two options that we selected when setting up our Next.js project within the terminal. And then if we press enter, we can see that Cloud is now providing us with a modern landing page. And we can see that it first wants us to create a new file titled page.tsx. And again, we have this here because this is a Next.js project. Right now, this is just defaulted to the Next.js, essentially hello world page. So from here, what we can do is apply this code. So all we need to do when using Cursor Composer is we don't need to physically copy this. We can just click apply, and it'll apply all of these changes for us inside the proper file. So making sure that we're inside this page.tsx file, what we're now doing is using all of these changes that Cursor Composer has suggested and deleting the rest. So as you can see, the AI within Cursor is automatically getting rid of the lines of code we don't need, and we're only keeping in the sections of code that they've generated for us. And then from here, we can choose to either accept or reject the changes. So for now, let's go ahead and click accept. And we can see that the file now matches what they've provided us in this section. And then scrolling down, we can see that this landing page has a header, the logo and navigation links, hero sections, feature sections, and a simple footer. And then we can see that to use this landing page, what we need to do is make sure that we have the necessary dependencies installed, which we do, Next.js, React, and TypeScript. We can also add a logo image inside this public folder. We can update the content and also style the page using Tailwind CSS classes. And while you're using Cursor, you can have Composer reference existing files inside your codebase. So if we were to open up the Cursor Composer window here, we can just simply add, and then we can choose this file. So if we go to files, we see that we have this landing page that we just created. And then now, whenever we provide a prompt to Cursor, it'll have all of this additional context. So we're essentially sending over the entire contents of this file over to Cloud. And then from here, we can ask additional questions in the prompt. So we can say something like, explain this file for me, or change the color scheme of XYZ in this file. And then when we send over that prompt, the Cloud model will have all of this additional information just simply by adding this file. And then another section that is helpful with Cursor Composer is that you can just simply highlight lines of code within a specific file. And then once again, if we click Command L, you can now reference these lines of code before typing in your prompt. So we can say something like, explain these lines of code, click enter. And then now with that additional context, the Cloud model will be able to explain what these lines of code do. And this is helpful, especially if you have no coding experience, just to know how your app is structured and which sections of the code affect which sections of your app, especially when you're troubleshooting, so you'll know what to look for and which files to actually dig inside. And then lastly, you can also add cursor rules, so you don't need to constantly type in that this is a Next.js project with App Router, TypeScript, etc. What you can do is just include one initial prompt here, and Cloud will remember all of the rules for every response it generates. So to do this, we can just head over into the settings. We can see there's a section called the rules for AI. So underneath these rules for AI, you can just simply say you are an expert, Next.js, TypeScript, app router, etc. And then whatever other functions or features that you have inside your project. So this way, whenever you have Cloud generate a response for you, or if you prompt the question to Cloud, it'll always remember those rules for every response it generates. Now, just one note is just to make sure to check this section whenever you're working on multiple files, since these cursor rules are global. So if you were to open up another cursor window, these rules would still remain the same. So I would just make sure that you are looking over your cursor rules just to ensure that if you're working on, for example, a React Native app in another window, it's not carrying over the same cursor rules that we have inside this window. Now, once we want to test how our app functions and runs, we can go to the terminal and run our project. Now we can do this either directly through our computer or through Cursor. So it's the same terminal, it's just that Cursor automatically navigates to your project folder. Whereas if you restart another window from your computer terminal, you have to first navigate to this project folder, which again is that CD function. But from here, I'll just go ahead and expand this bottom window up. And then we can see this terminal, which again is the same exact terminal as our computer, but it just automatically navigated to our test project folder. And then from here, to run our application, all we would need to do is type in the command npm run dev. Let's wait for this to load, and we can see that it's gone ahead and started on a local host. So what we need to do is just copy over this URL into any browser and paste it in. And you don't need any online capabilities to run this. This is completely offline. And now, as you can see, I've gone ahead and pasted in that same exact URL into a browser. And now we're taken to the landing page that has been completely created through Cursor. And as you can see, we have the logo, which Cursor AI explained we need to paste in a logo inside the public directory. That's why we don't have anything here. We also have tabs for features, pricing, and contact. But if we were to click any of these buttons, it would take us to a 404 because we need to physically create each of these components through Cursor Composer. All they did was create this landing page for us. As you can see, we called it an amazing web app. We have 3 features. It's easy to use, powerful analytics, secure and reliable. So again, this is just all boilerplate that the AI generated for us. And then from here, we can always just head back into Cursor and begin iterating on this project until we have the necessary contents and design that we need and are happy with. Now, just as a note, if you want to create a full stack application, it's not as easy as just typing in everything in one prompt, such as create a Facebook clone for me or something like that. Because if you were to do this, the cloud model would typically just spit back to you a very basic structure of the application, but you would have to integrate everything else. So a typical workflow would look like first creating the basic structure of the application, testing that to make sure there's no errors with the AI generated code, and then you would move on to user authentication and registration, again testing that. Then you would move on to backend APIs and then move on to all of the individual features one by one, which I obviously can't do in a 10-minute video. It would take hours to complete and test. But this is the general workflow when working with AI. You have to take everything one step at a time, and it's because AI does make errors. And when it does, you'll be able to pinpoint where exactly the code is failing if you do take adding in features one at a time. And AI does perform much better when you give very specific tasks rather than just something general, such as this prompt here. And while AI is very intuitive, there's also a lot of beginner information needed, as well as general trial and error if you truly want to excel in building apps completely with AI. So if you're looking for an active community of AI builders, as well as a structured program for everything you need to know as a beginner building apps completely with AI, then check out our program at No Code Pathways. We provide the only comprehensive AI curriculum for people that don't know how to code, combined with databases of common AI errors and how to fix them for any scenario. We also have a team of professional developers in our community that helps explain AI generated code and also helps debug issues when they occur, because AI, as much as we want it to be, is not perfect. We believe this really bridges the gap between AI generated code and a great final product. Now, one powerful tool I would combine with Cursor is V0. This is an AI tool that specializes primarily on front end that works well with React and Next.js. So you can basically create full modern front-end designs here and then bring the code into Cursor once you're happy with it. So the site is just called v0.dev. And then from here, you can just type in any prompt. So if you wanted to create a landing page, we can say, please create a webflow.com inspired landing page for my next JS app. And then we can see that after this prompt, V0 is thinking. Then now they'll go ahead and create all of the code for us. And one cool thing about V0 is that they're able to run the code immediately within the same output window. We just have to wait for the code to generate. So this means that you can continuously tinker within V0 until you're happy with your front end design. So what this means is you first create the landing page, you adjust all of the colors, fonts, designs, sections, and then once you're happy with that, you can also create additional components within V0, such as your dashboard or perhaps like a features page. And then once you create all of the components and pages that you want inside your application, you can then bring those over into your Cursor project. And then from there, within Cursor, you can then add some additional features and functions. So now we can see the code is finished generating, and it's gone ahead and created a very sleek landing page for us. We have our header section, feature section below, customer testimonials, some pricing, as well as a call to action section. So we can add some more features if we wanted to. So we can say something like, please add a header at the top. And then we can also say, please make this a darker color scheme. And then with those additional changes, this is kind of like what I mean by tinkering within V0. They'll be able to add all of these features into the components it builds. And then I would just spend a lot of time within V0 until you're happy with all of the different files that you need to create. So now let's go ahead and wait for this to generate. And now that this is generated, we can see that our landing page is looking a lot better. They've gone ahead and added a header at the top. We have our features, pricing, testimonials, and contact. And then this can be kind of like a sign up login button, which we'll be able to add the feature of within the Cursor. And then scrolling down, we can see we have our header. It's again the same components. We have the feature section, customer testimonials, and then pricing. And then you can just go back and forth within V0 on this specific window if we wanted to change font sizes, font colors, font types, icons, just anything that you don't like in terms of front-end design, you'll be able to adjust from V0 here. And you'll also be able to create all of the different components. So within V0, we can have them create the features component, the pricing component, testimonials component, and contact component. So that way, when you head over to Cursor, you can just import all of these. Now, another thing that V0 is really great at doing is being able to analyze screenshots. So if we go over to the HackerNoon website here, we can see there's a lot going on, but if we were to take a screenshot of this main home page and then head back into V0 and say, please create a blog component that looks like the HackerNoon screenshot for my next JS project. And then we can go ahead and paste in the screenshot of HackerNoon. V0 is able to analyze the screenshot and produce something pretty close to what we give it. So let's just give it a second to provide an output. And there you have it. This output that V0 has provided us for this HackerNoon blog file looks pretty much identical to what HackerNoon's site currently looks like. So this just shows the vast capabilities that V0 can really do and achieve in terms of front-end design. And then from here, you can go ahead and add your own spin or add additional features, components, or design changes to this design. And like I mentioned, you can then bring it over into Cursor, and then from there, you can begin working on features and functionalities of your application.